Yo, so I just logged into the game, and apparently we got this banner out of nowhere. Entwined Hero Debut Celebration Round 2. Really now. So they dropped this banner. They also gave out 5 tickets for this banner with very easy missions, I might add. It was pretty much just like KO a bunch of units. We can quickly go over there and check it out right here. So these were the missions, and all you had to do, I think, was beat 30 enemies, and you would end up getting all 5 of the tickets. Very easy to do, considering it's the weekend, and we just got rival domains updated. So why don't we go ahead and check out this banner here. To my understanding, this banner is pretty much a double special banner, except with extra 4 units on here. So instead of double color shares, we have triple color shares. Appearance rates are 8% for focus, and you can't get pity broken, so there's no off focus. So pretty much, well, I guess the better comparison would be a legendary banner as opposed to a double special, because that's pretty much the exact same rates over here. So is this any good? Should you summon any on this banner besides using your tickets in the freebie? Let's find out. Okay, so starting us off on red, we have the Beach Nino here. She's got some pretty interesting fodder. She has Speed and Res Lull finish, which is actually pretty good for just a damaging beast skill. Perfect attack and speed is okay, but it's on a lot of other units besides Nino. And Flare is okay, but it's certainly not Ice Wall. So, yeah, not the craziest. And as a unit, this Nino's okay. She's not, like, terrible or anything, but what is the summary for this unit? She's just okay. Pretty much. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to our next red unit. So we have the Bunny Veil, a pretty interesting supporter, actually. I think it's her C skill that's giving the crazy support. She gives like a double proc of Scowl on her drive here. Yeah, let's see. Let's read the whole thing. So if unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack and res -5 on the foe, reduce damage from foe's first attack by 7. Grant special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack in combat, and also if foe's res is better, or if unit's res is better than foe's res +5, and foe can trigger a special, then you inflict Scowl on their first attack, and then Scowl again on their first follow-up. So having Scowl on both is pretty good. Like, just having it on their first attack is okay, but having Scowl on both of their attacks is certainly a lot more foolproof. She also gives this as a drive for allies in 2 spaces. If her res is better than the foe's res +5, then she gets Scowl on their first attack and Scowl on their second attack. And then also giving pretty much the same stats and the DR as well. So she can be an interesting supporter. I believe she also had Brave attacking too. Yeah, she has to have 10 more res than the enemy, which probably won't be that bad considering she's got 62 there with Crystalline Water. So, an okay unit. Actually better than okay. I would say I like her better than the Nino we just looked at, but still, is she worthwhile to summon? Fodder ain't really there. Iceberg, no, you want Ice Wall now. Attack res Far Resound is okay, but certainly better. Actually, Nino's B skill is a lot better than this one. And Crystalline Water, which is a repeat. Alright, next up we have the Valentine Dimitri, who has some much better fodder. He's got Attack and Speed Excel and Shadow Shift, both pretty meta skills, and then Haste Slice as well, which is pretty meta. And this guy, he gets extra actions. He's kind of like a worse Valentine Edelgard, I want to say, where they have a lot of similarities, except Edelgard just has that extra action that she can take that this guy can't. He's getting +1 movement for free, though, so he covers... I mean, he covers the same amount of ground as Edelgard does with the Celica Ring, except the Celica Ring can do shenanigans like warp through obstacles, and like if there's a wall directly in front of you, then technically Celica Ring Edelgard would have more reach than this Dimitri. But if they have Warp Bubble, then Celica or Edelgard ain't going anywhere, right? And this guy is actually going to be able to cut a path right through. Problem is, he's a little bit more questionable in combat than Edelgard. Like, Edelgard, all she has to do is live that first round of combat, and then she negates specials on the enemies afterwards. So, like, she has a much safer 1-2 punch than this guy, I would say. And then her debuff, mid-turn, sabotage, and all the stats and exposure is just way better. So, yeah, this Dimitri, he's cool, but he's just not Valentine Edelgard. So, overall, red, an okay selection, but again, okay is not going to cut it in today's Fae meta. Alright, so on blue, we have here the Beachside Lapis, who is also an interesting unit. She inflicts the Share Spoils Plus status effect after combat, which I find this hilarious that right after this unit came out, we got the refine for the Plegian Katarina, who does this start of turn. Like, she doesn't even need to enter combat. And honestly, that Plegian Katarina with her refine is one of my surprisingly favorite units to use recently. So I don't know, man. Lapis is pretty good. She can definitely get some, you could definitely get some mileage out of her. And her fodder is basically the same as Dimitri. We got Excel, we got Haze Slice, Potent Finish, which is actually inheritable and very good, as opposed to Dimitri having a unique B skill, and then Pulse Tempest F. Is this better than Shadow Shift? I don't know. And there's like a million different Pulse skills right now. So, and Tempest too. So they just decided to put them all together. But I don't know. I'm much more in preference of Shadow Shift as fodder because it's a little bit rarer. So yeah, this Lapis is not bad. It's just that if you're using her specifically for Share Spoils, the Plegian Katarina is kind of better for that. So, okay, there we go for Lapis. Then we have the Bride Larce, aka Lakshe. So, she's got Potent Finish. That one has different inheritance. Well, actually, both of them did, right? Yeah, they both have Potent Finish. It's the Seliph who we're about to look at that has the other potent skill that's for Cavalry and... I think it's just for Cavalry, and this one is for Flyer and Infantry. So, yeah, Potent Finish, Brutal Tempest, Perfect Attack Speed, okay fodder. She's okay. She kind of reminds me of Legendary Ira a little bit. They are kind of similar, where they can negate the enemy's defensive specials like Pavis or Aegis, which not really too common right now because no one's really running Shield Fighter, honestly. There's not really much point. All of the meta armored units have preference specials like Burger King and Ectordeer that you're not going to run Pavis or Aegis right now. And even on the armored units that would run Hardy Fighter, or not Hardy Fighter, Shield Fighter, I feel like even they're probably better off just running a damaging special now and trying to kill the opponent with Celica Ring as opposed to try to just face tank, pretty much. But yeah, this Lakshe over here, she's basically just a Lance Legendary Ira, maybe slightly better. She does have a nice debuff here. She does Exposure and Discord, so that could be cool. But the Ira gives potent support, which also could be cool. Alright, then we have Valentine Claude. Another unit kind of in Edelgard's shadow. But this guy, I would say I actually like him a little bit better than the Dimitri, because at least he is a ranged unit getting the bonus action, which there's not very many ranged units that get bonus actions. Pretty much just Gul'veg units and the very rare Nyorin Zeal Leaf units that we infrequently get. So having extra actions on a ranged unit like Claude is a little bit better. Let's see here. Pure Starfall. He gets Deep Star, which it has pierceable DR. He's still doing his gravity shenanigans. I think the Vantage is actually the best effect that he's getting out of here, because he does have enemy phase Brave if he's got his conditions met. So yeah, I actually think this guy is better than Dimitri, honestly. His fodder maybe is a little worse, though. He doesn't have Excel. He doesn't have Haste Slice. He's got Attack and Speed Prime 4. Attack Speed Insight Hone is okay, but Excel and Haste Slice is kind of hard to argue with. So Claude is okay. He gets a pass from me. So overall, I would say blue is looking decent. Maybe I like blue a little better than red. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at green now. So we have Seliph over here. Potent Assault, like I was talking about earlier, is pretty much the go-to Cavalry B skill for DPS right now. So you could go for that. You got Attack and Speed, Excel, and then Haste Slice. So just a better Dimitri for fodder and a better Dimitri as a unit, because this guy is certainly going to be putting in a little bit more work than Dimitri offensively. Now, the one downside is that he is still, once again, relying on that Miracle effect, which is nowhere near as insane as it was when Brave Seliph came out, because we actually have a lot of ways to counter it now with Brave attacking and just Fatal Smoke 4. So, unfortunately, not as crazy. but he's still okay. He's not a terrible unit. I don't think this Seliph over here is that bad. And then he is getting the +1 movement and all the effects you see here. He's getting, if unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, gets bonus to attack and speed equal to the number of spaces from starting to ending position. So he's kind of got like Excel built into his C skill there too. Gets a little DR, gets a little recovery. The recovery is mainly for his miracle effect to continuously proc. So Seliph is okay. Actually, he's probably the best unit we've looked at so far on the banner. Alright, then we have Pala. This is where green kind of sucks, though, because we have Pala, and then we also have the May over here. Both of these are demoted heroes, so they have what I would say is arguably the best unit on the... Well, at least the best unit we looked at so far. And then he is color sharing with 2 demote characters. So, a little unfortunate for Seliph, really devalues the green pool a little, but this Pal is not too bad, especially now that we have air superiority. So, pretty much any inheritable unit that can, any melee flyer that has access to a lot of inheritable skills is going to eat pretty good. And Pala especially, because she's an axe type, so she's got access to all the good inheritable axes, like the Gladiator axe and the axe from Pajazzi and so on and so forth. So, yeah, Pal is actually a pretty good demote right now. May not quite so much, unfortunately, because there's not really a crazy inheritable green tome right now. So, if you are hitting green, I would say the focus is Pala and Seliph. And then finally on Colorless, where they just blew their entire load, apparently. So, we have here the Summer Celica, who is a pretty solid unit. I don't want to say anything higher than solid, because they do have a couple of flaws. Mainly their weakness is that they are very reliant on the miracle effect that they have. And as we mentioned with Seliph, there's a lot of ways around miracle right now, like Braving and also Fatal Smoke. So if they're not able to hit the full 4 times, they're in trouble. And for whatever reason, they have mitigated damage when they use the style to get the 3-range attack. I don't know why they decided to give that to this Celica. Like, let's try to balance attacking from 3 spaces away. Meanwhile, Emblem Lin can just snipe from 6 spaces away with absolutely no detriment. Real wise move there, Insys. And then later on, we just got Brave Byleth, who can attack from 3 spaces away and takes no mitigated damage. So, really funky what they were thinking with this Celica. Then she has a harmonic button, which is actually not a bad one because it has penalty cleansing. But you're never able to use it because it just gets canceled out by her having the style. So yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking here, but she does have good fodder. Magic Light, Sly Swift, and Attack Speed, Insight, Hone, all pretty solid. And she is, despite everything I said, she is a pretty solid unit overall. Alright, then we have the Bride Julia over here. Now, this Julia got a little bit of extra value with Ectordeer giving Magic Save now. So, this Julia would be a premier unit to get Magic Save because she's got a really fat res stat. And then she can do a lot of stuff, actually. She's pretty solid overall. Nice support duo button, which is reusable. She's got effective against dragons. She's got, let's see here, drive boosts for allies, attack and res up 5, and then also rally spectrum, which could be pretty good. She's getting a lot of true damage there. Some, yeah, 20% of res as a bonus to attack and speed plus 6. X bonus damage, reduced damage by X, reduced damage by enemy specials by X. So, yeah. And then brave attacking, too, if she's got 10 more res. So, lots and lots of stuff going on. She's got a lot of debuffs, too. Schism especially, which is pretty solid. Not really too common unless you're running a Havoc B skill, which, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, units would opt to run Schism or Havoc if they have access to it, but most players probably don't. So, just, like, having it out of the box with this Julia is pretty nice. So, yeah, actually, I don't have anything bad to say about this Julia. She's very good. And then finally, we have Valentine Rhea, who is still, despite being from February, still holding in there. And despite also having so much stiff competition for the armor slot, still holding in there. I don't know how, but, well, I do know how. It's the Drive Miracle support, and then also, she's kind of like a similar support type of unit to the Seteth after his remake. Not remake, his remix, which helps out. So she's giving drive stats. She gives the drive miracle, which really applies a lot of pressure on the opponents to either have Fatal Smoke or be unable to kill some of your guys. And it's a 3-range drive as well, so that can help. She's got a... Yeah, she gets Stone Tiles on her duo button for 2 turns, which could be okay, but, I mean, Baby Camilla will just turn that off. So that's not that big of a deal. So, yeah, I mean, Rhea's pretty good. Colorless is definitely the best color here. So, why don't we go ahead and start summoning now? Let's go ahead and pop these tickets and this freebie. See what we get. All right, first choice was made for us. We just got 4 red orbs here. All right, so we got an Athena. Let me know what you guys were able to pull on your freebie and your tickets. Hopefully you guys are going to get something. I'm going to... What do I actually want, though? What do I personally want? I actually have none of the units on red. I don't have Vale, I don't have Nino, or Dimitri. If I were going for colorless, it would only be for Julia. And come to think of it, I don't have any of the units on blue either. So there's actually a lot of stuff I could technically use here. So I'm going to try to focus on red or blue. Even though Julia would probably be the unit I would want the most here. The odds of getting her through triple color sharing, not the best. So we'll try to get a new unit. See if we can make that happen. There, we get Abel there. Okay. All right, what do we want more? Red or blue? I guess... Huh. Probably blue. I'll say blue. Because we have 2 instances of potent finish, which could be good. All right, Athena, whatever. All right, then we got 2 more to go, or 3 more to go, rather. So, yeah, not really... Oh! We got Lapis there, okay. All right, I will take Lapis. Now, like I said, I've been using Pledgian Katarina quite a bit since her refine. So, I'll still be able to use this Lapis. Obviously, she's going to be a much better in-combat unit than the Katarina is. It's just that the main thing you want out of her is share spoils, and just being able to do that immediately is a lot better than having to enter combat. Oh, whoa! Dude, we are cooking here on these tickets. We got another 5-star. Okay, so we got Valentine Claude as well. Plus speed, minus res. Not bad. Yeah, wow, we're doing pretty good here. All right, let's continue. Let's go ahead and get this last one. Do we want to go for the hat trick on blue? See if we get Lakche? Huh. I feel like I kind of should, right? Let's see if we get all 3 of them, but... Now, we're only looking for 1 blue unit, as opposed to red, we're looking for 3. So I'm going to go for red. Okay, I probably should have hit that blue one, shouldn't I? Alright, whatever, it is what it is. So, yeah, that is everything to say about this banner. Overall thoughts, I would say Colorless is by far in first place, followed up probably by... Man, I would say probably blue. It's hard to... Like, blue and red are kind of tied. And then poor Seliph, accompanied by the demotes, he's in last place. Even though I think he is better than any of the red or blue units. But it is what it is. So, that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. I would say this is a skip. Just pop your tickets and your freebie and get out of here. Because we have a banner like this, for example. And we have this banner, which is pretty good, too. So, yeah, there's a lot better places to use your orbs at the moment. So, this is your boy Tacho signing out. Take care, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.